Hi Year 10, Mrs. Smith here, and today we are looking at the immune system. So do it now. We've got the Task My Daily Task, and then I want you to brainstorm what you already know about the immune system. Write it down because I want to see if I'm adding to that. Okay, fantastic. Off you go. Okay, Year 10. So, immune system. There's a few words that you need to know. Okay, the first one is antigen. Now, an antigen is something that you find on a pathogen. Okay, nice and easy. They both end with this word gen. Okay, so we find antigens on pathogens, and that's how we know what they are. It's like a little flag to say, hi, this is what I am. And they're all a different little shape, these little antigens, and they stick out of the pathogen. The next word you need to know is antibody. Okay, and these aren't little tiny healthy insects. Okay, not with the teeny little antibodies, aren't they cute? No. An antibody is something that's made by your body to attack the antigen. Okay, and there's a few ways of doing it, and we're going to look at how that works in a minute. Okay, so first of all, let's write down what antibody and antigen means. So let's take a look. So we've got an antigen, which is a protein label on a pathogen, and each pathogen has a different one. They're very specific. Antibodies are specific to the antigens. They're made by the body to detect the pathogen. And lymphocyte is a white blood cell. White blood is part of your immune system, and it's made in the bone marrow. And I'm going to show how those three things work now. Hi, I'm a lymphocyte, and I'm here inside your body looking out for things. And I've got here a few of the different antibodies I know how to make. I can make all of these. What's going on in the body? Oh look, something's gotten in. I can see something travelling through our blood. Quick, which antibody can I use to attack this antigen here sticking out of our pathogen? Which one should I use? No, that doesn't work. No, this one doesn't work. I know. Ha! Well done, antibody. You've headed off the antigen. You've labelled it up so I know I can come along and destroy that pathogen. Fantastic work. Now the good news is I'm the best lymphocyte ever. Me and all my friends made in the bone marrow, and we can make as many of these little antibodies as we need. Oh no, something else is coming up. We better head it off. Here comes the next one. Hang on a second. None of my antibodies work with this antigen. Oh no, I've got a new illness. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I know. I'm going to make some more antibodies. Unfortunately, because it takes time to do this antigen might start multiplying in my body. So I'll be a lot more ill because it's new and I've never seen it before. But look what I can do. I can make an antibody and head it off. There we go. Stop it. Destroyed you. But unfortunately, there's a load more of them because they've multiplied. That's okay. I can send out my antibodies and either neutralise them or flag it up so that they can be destroyed. Okay, hoping that all makes sense. So we've got our antigens, which a little label, a little flag on the pathogen to tell us what they are, and your antibodies go and react with that antigen, and it either says to the lymphocyte, I'm here, come and kill me, or the lymphocyte is otherwise able to neutralise it. Usually what happens is the lymphocyte eats it up. And you know those lysosomes we talked about last lesson? Those lysosomes will inside the white blood cell will then eat all of that pathogen and destroy it. So that's why if you have an antigen that you already have the antibody for, you can neutralize it fairly quickly, and you don't get very ill if you're seeing the illness for the second, third, fourth time. However, if it's the first time you've seen an illness, then you won't necessarily have the right antibody to go onto the antigen. It's not going to work. You need to synthesize the new one and make a new one. So every time you're exposed to something new, your immune system does get stronger, assuming that you can make the... So say if I've got a new antigen here and I have no antibody for it and I can't make the antibody for it, it can kill me. Okay, so I now have my little deadly sheep antigen, which has killed me because I couldn't make the antibody in time to neutralize it. Okay, one last thing we have to look at. So let's write down a definition for vaccinations. Back to the book. Okay, so vaccination is a small amount of an antigen given so the body can better fight the pathogens. What happens is you get a needle and it's injected into you, and inside that injection there are a load of either antigens or the whole pathogen, but the pathogen is dead. Okay, so you either get the antigen or the dead pathogen injected into you. It's new. So antibodies are made so that if you come across that illness for real, your immune system will work better, will work faster, and it will be able to stop the illness before it kills you. Something interesting about vaccinations. Okay, so you can see this beautiful graph here, and this shows, as you can see, the numbers 1, 2 and 3. So the first time you're exposed to an antigen, you're following the blue path here, which goes up, and we're making the antibodies, but it takes a good week or so. So if the first time you're exposed to something which could kill you, such as measles, you've got a week of being ill. However, your antibodies are made and you get better. That's why we have a vaccination. So if we do encounter measles, it's more like this. You've got a few days of it building up in your system, but then your antibodies are made so that your immune system, your lymphocytes, your white blood can go and kill it off. And your recovery is so much quicker. The reason why you have 2 or 3 vaccinations, okay, they're booster shots. They're to help your body. Because let's face it, we all forget things we've only learned once, which is why revision is so important for your exams. And that's why the TASMI task is important, because you need to be revising constantly. So does your immune system. That's why we show it again. This is why you get your second measles jab a little while after your first one, because that means that your body's like, oh yeah, I remember this. I definitely won't forget it because I've seen it more than once now. And so the third time, if you do come into contact with it, your immune system goes, what's this? Whoa, measles, I recognise this. Antibodies, do your stuff. Lymphocytes, do your stuff. Off you go. Huge immune response. This tires you out, by the way, because your body is suddenly going into overdrive, making white blood cells and antibodies. So this is why you feel so ill after an illness and so tired. But the immune system responds really quickly, really strongly, kills everything off, and you are back to normal before your immune system even started working properly the first time around. Okay, so that's what this graph means. Vaccinations, of course, are called that because of this animal, the cow. If you know your Latin, cow is vacca in Latin, or vascia, depending on how you pronounce it. It is VACCA. Okay, and what happened was the first ever vaccination was by a bloke called Edward Jenner. You might have done this in history. what he did was he noticed that people who got smallpox, a deadly disease, got it really badly, died from it. But all the milkmaids who had had cowpox, hence the cow, they recovered from smallpox or they didn't get it. So what he did was, his friends had a child who was about 10 years old. And he was like, can I borrow your child for an experiment? And they're like, yeah, sure, go for it, Edward Jenner. Not saying they're going to win Parent of the Year, but... And what Jenner did was he injected cowpox into this little child, this James Phelps, James Phelps he was. And he injected cowpox, and James got cowpox and felt very ill and recovered. And a couple of weeks later, Edward Jenner came along and injected smallpox into him. Remember, this can kill or it can maim, it can leave you without being able to use your limbs. It can leave you scarred. It's not nice. And he injected his friend's child with it. And he didn't get smallpox. And that's why it's called vaccination, because you are vaccinated against smallpox with cowpox. So there's just a little happy extra bit of knowledge for you. So that's all from me for today, Year 10. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy the worksheet I've sent you. Any questions, do let me know. Bye for now.